You got this, Cam.
All right. Hi, everyone. Oh, hey, there you are. Hi, everyone. Welcome again to another episode 5. Yeah, episode 5 of the C.H.A.R Against Humanity #1, uh, work in progress live stream. Uh, you can see our names here on the screen. I'm Mark. We've got Cam, we've got Natalie.
Hi.
So, last episode, 2 weeks ago, Natalie was the star. She was actually drawing live, and you guys responding really well to that. Had all kinds of cool comments and cool things to say about Natalie and her art. This time we're flipping it over to Cam. Cam is going to be star of this show, and he's going to be coloring live. So, what are you coloring today, Cam?
I am going to be coloring one of the panels, one of the first panels of the comic, and is Dr. Bergadom in the lab just before the reveal of the AI itself.
All right, so that's a panel from page 1. Actually cool. Looking forward to that. For those of you who are watching us live right now, again, as usual, you guys get to make your comments live in the chat. You can ask your questions. Again, please be kind. We're all human here, I think. So please be kind. But hey, feel free to throw in your questions, your comments. Natalie and I, we will hopefully not be distracting Cam too much while he is busy making everything look pretty. He is, after all, the pretty one in this trio. Does that make the brains?
Kawaii
I hope so. So Natalie and I, we're just going to be making either conversation or answering any questions or interacting with your comments. So hey, if you're here watching live, pop in and say hello. Feel free to bring a friend, and welcome again to C.H.A.R versus Humanity #1, our live stream. All right, kick it off, Cam.
All right, so I think I just have to do present, right? So people can see
Yeah,
my screen.
hit present, and you can share your screen. Yeah, that should be the option.
Slide, share screen. Screen sharing is easiest with 2 monitors. Screen sharing best on a good computer. So which screen is it going to share? This one. I want to share just the window.
I hope your desktop clear, Cam.
Me too. It would
Wow.
probably get wild. Can you all see what I am sharing on the chat?
Yep.
'Cause I'm seeing.
Stream, and there you are.
Oh, nice. I like your little swatch setup.
Thank you. Okay, good. Let me start. Okay. So this is what I got. And I didn't come to do it like live, like from scratch and stuff. So I was playing around with it a bit earlier just to like get a feel for the colors I would be using. Because I know we were discussing in earlier episodes about the palette and stuff that we wanted to use for this. I'm just gonna turn down my music a bit because I usually color to C.H.A.R. But seeing as how I'm talking as well,
C.H.A.R.
It's like lo-fi, the lo-fi girl.
Chill hop, yeah.
Chill hop.
Oh, I like lo-fi. I just didn't know there's a particular C.H.A.R. No,
That's
look
like
at me on the
channel,
internet.
right?
Scrambling to go and find out.
You are so old.
What, dude?
You never
Oh, C.H.A.R. Ooh.
You want me to post it in the? I'm gonna post it on Spotify. Post it from Spotify, so you guys can listen along if y'all want to. This is currently what I'm listening to.
It's currently nice calming background music.
Yes.
I think or like when it's not music with lyrics.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll listen to like rock as well.
Same.
All right, so we've got a man like Troy Skeet in the place. Yo, people. Hey, Troy, how you doing? Thanks for being here, man. Good to have you. if you're like Troy and you're now popping in to this stream, we're bringing the color this episode. That's right. Cam is coloring. You can see we've got his screen up. He's going to be coloring a panel from page 1 of C.H.A.R Against Humanity, number 1. For those of you who are backing or being a member of this entire process on our Ko-Fi, you guys will be getting the finished line art as well as the finished colors for each page as they're done, as part of your rewards for being awesome and great and sharing your money. So that's good. You can check that out there. But for those of us here on the live stream watching live, we get to see what a panel looks like as it comes to color. Yeah. We've got Keshawn all the way from TNT. Welcome, sir. Thanks for joining us again, another episode.
Hi, Keshawn.
And a man like Julian Mosley. Yo, Julian. Julian is another colorist extraordinaire. As I mentioned probably before, Julian is a modern day Renaissance man who does all kinds of things, music, acting, and both illustration and coloring for comics. So that's pretty awesome. Thanks for being here, Julian. So while Cam is doing his coloring, we're going to try not to distract him too much. Well, Natalie and myself, we make idle conversation. We try to keep it PG, maybe. But Natalie's the bad one in this group, so we'll see.
Wait. This is news to me, sir.
Oh, news to you. Okay, all right. So hey, Natalie. So how did you? Do you have a first comic love?
So I'm a bit of an imposter because I'm coming to things from the manga side. My boyfriend is currently giving me the DC crash course by watching like the old animations. So not comics technically, but it's hard. It's hard. Coming at them now from like this stage of life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the characters is kind of annoying. Like Batman's ever-growing, never-ending rogues gallery and the amount of foolishness this do. It's just it irks me a bit. But like actual first love would have to be a manga called Inuyasha. Yeah.
I know Inuyasha as an anime from back in the day on Cartoon Network.
Yeah. When they used to have it like in Spanish sometimes.
It was in Spanish all the time for me, and it was irritating. I'm like, I was asleep in Spanish class. Wait, why are you doing this to me? You know, struggling to understand what's going on, and then go watch it with all the sound off just so I could watch the pictures.
Yep.
Yeah.
I ended up like tracking it down to, of course, it went to the internet, and there were like people that would upload the episodes in English onto YouTube, and then you'll be watching like part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 5. Oh shoot, where's part 4? Oh my god. Yeah, that sort of stuff. So Inuyasha was like my first manga anime that got me into that whole thing. And I just liked the overall like the fantasy element. And I guess that's kind of been my favorite genre ever since. Even if like it's a more real world kind of take, where it's like in a city and there are people with recognizable occupations, but is vampires or there's creatures in the underbelly of the city and that kind of thing. I love that. So whether it's what I was always going to like or not, or if that first fantasy dip is what got me into loving fantasy, that's it.
All right. Well, hey, sounds like your boyfriend is a good fella, especially since he started with DC. Good man. Hopefully, it's good that he is still supportive of you being a part of this project, especially since early on your hentai, sorry, your sex doll research. That was a shock. Um,
Oh my
Julian is show to note the X-Men anime series from the 90s. Um, so the person who voiced Storm is actually a Barbadian from that show, Allison Steely Smith.
God. Really?
I met her, yeah. I met her years ago, and when I realized that she was the person voicing Storm, I was like, my mind was blown, and it made a very cool show even cooler. So
My mind is
that is some Caribbean history right there.
yeah.
For me, so my mother would tell me that I used to like to read comics before I could actually read,
Oh.
and I'm talking about the lady comics in the newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that was probably my first real exposure to comics. And she would talk about how I would sit down and I've got the little pullout from the newspaper, and I'm there sitting down looking at this thing so intently and laughing my little head off. Um, she's a mother, of course, they're gonna say these sort of things to make you look good and gas you
Mm.
up. But for me, um, when I was 10, I was staying with some folks for summer, and I was told if I promised to be good, I'll get a treat, and that treat was a big suitcase full of comic books,
Nice.
um, and an entire summer full of comic books. I still feel like that was my best summer ever, and there were all kinds of comic books in there. DC stuff, Marvel stuff, so Superman, X-Men, Spider-Man. Um, Pretty much anything that was huge then. Um, there's one cover I remember that that still sticks with me. Let me see. Is it the Flash? The Flash. Um, Trying to find it online because I keep forgetting um, the issue number. I think it's
Mm.
Flash number 53 from like 1994, maybe. If Google is kind, I might find it, but
Good luck. Say a prayer to the Google overlords.
yeah, the new chat, the new AI overlords.
Oh my
Yeah, boy.
god.
I did find it. Haha.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, Flash. Yeah, I did have a number right. Flash 53 from 1990 something. Um, Internet. Open image new tab. Hope that works. Okay. Hope
Now
that
that you
works.
mentioned the comics in the newspaper, that is actually my first exposure to comics. Before even Inuyasha, I used to like to get the Sunday comics to read Spider-Man.
Spider-Man fan, huh?
Yeah.
Good. Eh, And the thing is like the comics in newspaper they're in strips, and it would usually be like 3 panels, maybe 5 panels, and it was very very serialized. So you will
Yeah.
get like one PC story on like Mondays, and another on Tuesdays, and going out down through the week.
Hmm.
And that was that was the reason for me like newspapers had value. I didn't care what the price of rice. I mean, you're a child, but to see what was going to happen with Spider-Man next. What was Garfield up to? Peanuts, Andy Cap,
Yeah.
and Barbados, because the influence of the British, but then we're still kind of close to America. We got like a bunch of different stuff. So we used to get modesty blades in the newspapers, and I don't know if it was just due to that time frame, but you're seeing tits in the comic section in newspapers,
What?
and yeah, Modesty Blaze was always a comic that was um like adult oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another one called Garth, and like Garth was this strange story about this guy who had like super strength, but he he ended up in like different like time periods and different planets and a lot of weirdness, and he's fighting people with like swords and laser pistols, and every few issues you're seeing half naked women or
Oh,
topless women, and that was in newspapers, you know.
mm-hmm.
The thing about it now, it still kind of blows my mind. I haven't bought a newspaper in I don't know how long.
Same.
We've got newspapers online these days, and I don't think any of the online newspapers carry comics.
Nah.
So, I don't know.
Do
But
you go
yeah,
to your way to read the newspapers, by the way? Or are you also feeling adulthood?
newspapers don't got a new significance, man. Um, you're supposed to be adulting now. So
Mhm.
yeah. Let me see. All right, here's Keshawn. Comments are pouring in. Ha, no, Keshawn, you're not the Trinidad is the only place to get Spanish Cartoon Network. For whatever reason, the Caribbean only exists as part of Latin America. I don't
Yeah.
know why that is. Um, and it's
Because
weird.
it's region based, not cultural based. It's
Yeah, but the
geographical.
Caribbean is the Caribbean is its own region. So,
Yeah, but Latin America has more people, so they would just bunch us in with them, essentially, because we're not
that
important. We don't have a big enough. We don't have a big enough, I think, population pool for them to care enough to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
that's
say,
rude.
you deserve your own thing.
Cam got the man in a light pink, a pastel pink lab coat. That's a bold color choice. I love it.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out like what's the geekiest colors I could put this man in
Oh my gosh.
to highlight how not normal he is.
So Julian here is saying that, like, all right, so like growing up, 80s, 90s, like I feel like Barbadians at least. I don't know how it is. You can let us know, Keshawn, about Trinidad. But I feel like we all had more stuff in common, especially like if you're reading the same comics in the newspaper. Um, like definitely Sesame Street was this like unifier. I
Mm-hmm.
used to I used to run home to watch Sesame Street like
Yep.
deep in secondary school.
So because I just realized he has the Joker colors, and I didn't even realize it. Like I picked one color, and I was like, you know what colors go good with this color, these colors, and then I realized the Joker. Maybe it was because y'all were talking about DC. I am going to blame you all for this.
This is your fault, Natalie. This
This
is
is
your fault.
this is everyone else's fault except mine.
You're welcome. The chicken
Troy
nuggets
here.
in blue. Yes, the Phantom.
Do you know the Phantom is like in terms of comic history like fascinating, because for us here in the Caribbean, like when we were getting like on Sundays the comics would be in color. Phantom
Mm.
had on that
Purple
like
suit.
purple suit,
Mm.
but apparently every country that the Phantom comic strip was serialized in, his suit was a different color.
Really?
yeah, like digging into the Phantom, find out it was as well. So you have Phantom showing them in like some of the EU countries, and his suit. When you talk about Phantom suit is purple, they have no clue because it wasn't purple for them, you
Oh,
know.
there's
Uh,
a character like that. Is it Big Bird in Sesame Street that is a different bird in like every region or
Yeah.
something? I saw it a few
yeah,
years ago and it like blew my mind. Like some people's Big Bird was this giant white bird, some was this blue bird.
Is he chocolate enough? Like, is this too dark for what y'all imagine him to be?
That
Do you
looked good
want
to
a
me.
bit lighter?
What says you,
that
Mark?
works. I think. Yeah, that's a good chocolate color. Ah, Julian, thank you for being on the same page here. Glad to see that somebody else remembers the Garth comic strips from the newspapers, and the adult stuff that was in there. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like people today are so very delicate, and like children is like, you outside playing is like, come in when the street lights come on. That's it, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
boy.
so you definitely want to be seeing like a comic like Garth in any paper. Troy is asking which newspaper published Garth. That's a real good question. I I want to say it used to be the Nation, but I honestly don't remember. And the cool thing was, like for me as a child, getting the newspapers, like the two daily papers here, the Barbados Advocate and the Daily Nation, was both worthwhile because the comics in each newspaper was different. So you get like two sets of comics a day, you know. Um,
This is news to me.
it was
My
the
parents didn't buy the Advocate.
all right. So Julian is saying it's the Advocate, so it might have been the Advocate for Truth, maybe. And Modesty Blades might have been Advocate as well.
That would explain why I never saw them.
Don't worry, Natalie. Troy is like you. He's saying that his family used to buy Nation because they're
Yes.
poor thing. All right, Keshawn is saying, I feel like Sesame Street was sorry, what? Internationally beloved far less for the Caribbean. I don't know. I don't know. Like, so here is how far of an impact Sesame Street had on me. So when I went to college, I did mass communications, and part of that involved actually having what's the word? Actually being on air at the college radio station, and the broadcast range of the station wasn't very far. Um, it was pretty much just like the immediate environs around the college. Uh, but somebody brought in a CD of Sesame Street music, and I'm talking about like Telephone Rock, the Alphabet Song, and here we are all like teenagers, and we're not afraid to go on the station and play. I think everybody's uh like assigned slot. Somebody can play at least two songs from that Sesame Street CD,
Wow.
and we are belting these songs out across whoever could hear it, and we are having a blast. Um, so that's like 17, 18 maybe. Yeah, and we are still excited about Sesame Street songs, talking about Sesame Street, favorite characters, favorite um, little bits. When did we stop watching Sesame Street? That was when Elmo took over.
Elmo's World.
Troy, Yeah, Elmo's World. Elmo's World started at like a little 2-minute bit at the end of Sesame Street, and then it was like a half hour long. And I was like, nope, that's me them out.
I love that the Elmo and Zoe with Rocco shenanigans have been taking over the internet, and nobody's having Zoe shit, or everybody's supporting Elmo at the very least because
I would support Zoe over Elmo because Elmo was annoying as all hell. He had Elmo's world.
Elmo can't get no traction with me, nothing.
So like someone giving Elmo shit is just like
nah. But you see, it was annoying for me too, right? So I had to support Elmo there.
You're an
But
Elmo supporter? Come
only in
on.
that,
Come on.
only against Rocco.
No, I can't support Elmo full stop though.
So you will aid a child in her delusions?
have you
Like
seen
I think
have you seen
children should have delusions.
Elmo's entire world is a delusion. His entire world. She has one illusion of a rock. That's a pet.
Okay, but
Elmo has made an entire world of delusions with his
but
pet goldfish.
his world for the most part just involves him. Zoe was carting around this rock, and everybody else had to play with cheap foolishness. Oh, this cookie reserved for Rocco.
The rock is a tangible thing, at least.
Ah, he had his goldfish.
All right. So yes, C.H.A.R remembers Modesty Blades in the newspapers in Trinidad. Never heard of Garth. like Garth is. I remember reading up on Garth. Well, it's no longer in syndication, so you wouldn't be finding it in newspapers. And I feel like there's a lot of like pre-internet stuff like Garth that didn't survive long enough to be digitized. So like you only really like would see like anything like Garth comics, like maybe like a rare collection and that kind of stuff. But yeah, Modesty Blades has her like tits showing in Modesty Blade comics and newspapers. Wild stuff. C.H.A.R Big Bird is red and yellow in South America. Wild. Did not know that. Huh. I wonder if they did they recolor it?
No, it was like a different puppet.
You may have a whole separate puppet.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You could Google it. Like, what would you Google for that? Big Bird variant.
Countries or something like that.
But yeah, Phantom's like that as well. Different colors. He's different colors in different countries. So.
Yeah.
So, Cam, remember last episode you were insisting that Dr. Brigadon was me?
Uh-huh.
Look at Troy. Troy believes, why does this character look like me? I love it. Loving the color choices, Cam.
I'm not sure what
Next
happened.
thing.
Because I was supposed to just fill in most of these colors with the fill bucket. But I think I did something wrong. So it's not allowing me to access the layers that the layer artwork that's Natalie sent. So I'm gonna have to do it by hand, which is why this is taking kind of.
I know. I should have given you a border.
I don't know. You mean a border for this? I could just do something and erase that at the end. Not a biggie. This is literally like me painting on a canvas, and then you have to go in and fix those small details at when you're fine tuning and stuff. This is just getting the flats down.
Like I utilizing the theater curtains.
Yeah, all those little things at the end, you could just go and correct and stuff.
Trinidad is a well place. C.H.A.R is saying that he's heard Sesame Street songs on the local radio several times. They got the Trini DJs, but I don't know, man. I feel like I don't know how Badens would react today if somebody sit down and play like half hour Sesame Street songs.
It would depend on the DJ. If it was,
Think so?
F is Surf Rock, then we see.
Oh my god.
If it's Surf Rock, okay, all right, fair enough.
Surf Rock, or maybe F is like Salt and Dawn. They will listen. That's at least that's what I feel. That's what I feel Beijing's will react.
So Troy is here insisting that he has those exact same shades. Those are lab goggles, sir. What are you running about in the streets wearing lab goggles? I don't know. I'm not gonna question your fashion sensibilities, sir.
Listen, if my guy can make it work.
So here's a question for you, Natalie, and this is me who is not the art type.
Mhm.
How what do you need to do to, or do you need to do anything special rather to prepare the file for Cam to color? Do you give it him in layers? Is it what? What do you do?
Well, I just exported the lines themselves. So it's just like one layer with the lines and made it transparent so that
So this is
there's
what
nothing
this is what
interfering in the background.
this is what it would look like. What she says. So this is what it would, when it comes up. This is what it would look like.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So the checkered thing means is see through, and then when it comes into Clip Studio, it automatically gets put on paper, which is white.
Hmm.
And then I have this layer here, which is the swatches and stuff, which are now gone. Hold on. Apparently the swatches are gone. Oh, there they
You
are.
disappeared them again. Okay.
I need to name my things better.
Can I just say that I'm loving Burgadungs here? I know I drew it, but I love it how it looking like just wild.
I'm loving it here too. I am. And I feel like seeing more black people here is just cool, like in comics. And so, all right, here's my thing, right? So a black character, like, so in like mainstream comics, well, let's say DC comic, you have a character like Green Lantern or Black Lightning, and they're either bald or they've got some like geometric hairstyle, right?
Yeah,
Um,
it with the
Because
orange.
you got the cut that's got to hit barber like every 2 weeks, me.
Yeah,
you mean every
sharp.
2 days? That then their lanes are too crisp, you
There's
know.
such things as too crispy. What are you talking about?
Come on, man. Your lanes can't be that crisp after 2 weeks. Nah. So it's like seeing like the variety of black hair. I think it's cool. Like with anime hair is always angular. Like Dragon Ball Z, he just got bigger spikes. And it's like, how he never see a comb. Goku, Vegeta, that man never see combs. Never.
That is that is believable.
So what's going on there? So seeing Burgerdown's here, I'm cool. I'm loving it. So shout out to you, Natalie, for getting that 4C here looking nice. There you go.
Yes.
But yeah, man. DC Comics. I'm definitely a DC Comics fan. There are Marvel characters I like Spider-Man is amazing, pun
Bro.
intended. Um, but I feel like
Did not just say that.
I did. I did say it, and it's spectacular.
Hey, I was going for that one next.
um, yeah, I feel the thing is with a lot of these like DC and Marvel characters that you don't really see them grow up. And like grow up, I don't mean like go from children to adults. Like they're kind of stuck in the status quo. So Peter Parker, for most of my like my reading life, has almost always worked for the Daily Bugle, struggling to pay rent, dating the same body in most cases. But this guy's supposed to be a genius. I was like, come on,
Untrap
man.
yourself, my guy.
Yeah, open an OnlyFans, like, make some money.
I mean, if you just woke up with abs one day and there was
To
a
be
way for
fair,
people
to be
to
fair to him,
send you that money and you want
If a
to,
spider bite me tomorrow, Natalie,
huh?
if a spider bite me tomorrow and I wake up Monday morning with abs, it is straight to Google OnlyFans.com.
to be
Oh
fair, to be fair to him, he did do that. He was a wrestler,
no. Oh yeah.
It's true. It's
and then
true.
he didn't stop the guy that later killed his uncle Ben. So now he believes that he's supposed to be poor for the rest of his life, saving New York. You know how good-hearted Spider-Man has to be to get up every day to say, "I am going to save New Yorkers." Let, let's give him some credit. He is special. You wake up every day in Queens. I'm like, I'm gonna save people today. Can't you say I'm walking here? Like, no, you would. I would just leave you, and whatever Uber or Midtown cab hit you would hit you.
Oh my gosh.
Like that is like this like fascinating thing about comics where, and a lot of these characters are created in like the 60s, and the automatic assumption was you have superpowers, you're gonna go and you're gonna save people, which is wild. Like these days, I feel like if superpowers were a thing, I think we will have a lot more influencers. You will got some real strange OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think people would just slide straight to be celebrities and that kind of stuff. I don't see people like deciding, yeah, I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to save people.
They have one or
Nah.
two really, really sweet people.
You mean dorks?
What?
This is
So
dork.
Natalie,
Huh?
dorks, you get powers tomorrow. What are you gonna do?
It depends on what they are. Bro, what is that laugh?
That is
That is
a
I
whole
think like,
laugh.
that is a whore cackle. That is what. It, oh, you okay? Let's make it specific. You
Alright.
wake up tomorrow looking and feeling like a black Wonder Woman, not the Wonder Woman DC movie series, but like Justice League Unlimited, any other animated iteration of Wonder Woman. What are you doing? I literally stopped drawing to hear this answer
Oh, good. All right.
because I
Can
want
I
to
just
like.
say that I respect Wonder Woman's get wrecked kind of directness. People will hold these licks kind of thing. I
Can
respect that.
yes. Okay, cool.
So that's hard. You see, I ain't really got anybody I want to go after. So I don't have like a spicy revenge story to say I go and like drop a tree in somebody's house. Kind of thing.
Hmm.
No
If I
talks.
if I had a nemesis, somebody will wake up with a tree in the house. But
A banana tree? What's our
ah,
tree?
coconut tree be? Just go and javelin this tree. It lift it out, take off the head and just javelin this through the house.
Put it right here.
You giving that a lot of thought. You have a specific tree in mind. That is wild. That
You want to
woo.
scare, but not you don't want to kill them. Just want
Oh,
to
okay.
be, yo, what the heck? And they will live their life on the straight and narrow after that.
Sorry, all right. It won't go back a minute. Your original answer was it depends.
Yes.
It depends. What powers would turn to the dark side, Natalie?
To the dark side.
I mean, you said it depends, right? So
So my friend posed this to me. She was like, if you woke up with mind control or like the powers of suggestion, what you would do? I tell she going straight and get a job in Sandy Lane. And I will become friends with a lot of rich people. I don't know how bad like that's our power could get to your head, but I start off innocent where I'll be like, I'm gonna make friends with these people. That we are actually friends, but I persuade them into being my friend. Then you could ask for favors. Yeah. You don't have to get
okay.
cool, you just need to know the right people. And if I can convince you that I know you and we tight, then
So once they know you, they will empty their pockets for you. Cool.
yes,
I mean, that's not stealing if they're just giving you money, right?
exactly. And I know that empty the pockets. You make several friends with several multimillionaires. You don't need to drain them. Just ask for, a nice car here, a couple hundred grand here.
What did I
God screaming.
do? Oh God! Curse subverted.
Cam, what would you do with the powers of suggestion or mind control? Oh no. Oh
The
no.
hoodie going on. Darth Sidious.
Oh. Oh my God! We're keeping it PG, right?
Yes.
Good.
I mean, we're kind of all adults here, I think.
We're keeping it PG. If I had the power of suggestion, I would walk into the central bank and tell them to give me all of the newly printed bills and walk out.
Oh no.
I don't know.
But you see, right? That like how you can catch that out afterward.
It's not my problem. It was given to me. I didn't steal it.
Yeah, but we too small for that. And they would just come. Police would just come and be like, "Give it back."
And I would I'm looking at the wrong thing. And I would say this is not the money you're looking for.
Oh my gosh.
And then you know what he was gonna say to me? This is not the money we're looking for. And then he's going to turn around and leave.
Oh my gosh.
Cam with the Star Wars callback. Well done, sir. Well done.
That's the first thing I would do, and then I would find the biggest fucking mansion in this place that's for sale, and I would tell them, give me this house.
Ooh.
And I would never pay for food ever again. It's like, you're gonna let me take this for free. I'm gonna let you take this for free.
That one's fairly innocent, to be honest. Like a meal.
You literally gave me like Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi mind trick powers.
Place is full of villains. Look at this.
And I ain't even doing the whole take over the country
Nabi.
thing, sort of mega mind bullshit. I would just never pay for anything ever again. I'd be like, I want to go to Italy and I would say, I'm getting on this plane, and you're going to take me to England. And I would go. And then when I get to England, I say, I want the nearest trip to Italy to see Venice, and I'm not paying for the ticket. And I want first class seats. That's it. That's it. That's it. I just say what I would literally manifest my will.
Oh my god.
Is literally manifesting your will on your environment.
So basically, you're getting on like a Gen Z IG talk.
No, because they go to Dubai and get shit on for their money. I won't have to do.
Ooh.
I don't.
No.
Julian is saying, I wake up with powers. I ain't doing shit. All
Are
right.
you acting on it, or are you just?
Let me see. I would be like Will Smith and Hancock. Fuck humanity. We got nothing but villains in here. Nothing but villains. Except for this scientist. I really need to see how shit works first. You need a training montage video, Troy. Come on, man.
I mean,
What you doing? What you doing, sir?
I could agree with that. I always imagine if I ended up with teleportation powers or something, the worst thing you could do is like, all right, you flit around your room a bit, and then you go somewhere else and then get stuck there because your power is still on the fritz and you don't master it yet.
Yeah, Sean, if I get powers tomorrow, my first priority is getting that paper. After I'm stable, I might start looking at ways to help out, perhaps during disasters and 24/7 crime fighting, unlikely. Woo!
First thing.
I'm not helping out in all disasters. That's what they're rescue people for. Like I would generally have to care about those people.
Oh my gosh.
Like
Nothing but villains.
if I no, I'm gonna keep it. I'm not gonna make it political, so I'm not gonna say anything. But go ahead. I just want to help people just for the sake of helping people.
Ooh.
I think
I would only help African nations and Caribbean nations. That would be my thing. These is my people. I'm helping them out.
she demanded so
I will not help out the
some
colonizers.
Killmonger vibes. All right, all right.
The colonizers.
The colonizers already helped themselves to our resources. They have enough money to pay for their rescuing.
Wow.
Who am I to get in the way of the free market and capitalism? Who is supposed to provide the services for these people when things go wrong? Nah, fuck that.
I think if I had like, for me, ideal powers probably be like Superman. But then I would go and I would build a house in like the middle of the Sahara, and that's like spend time doing
Nothing.
like now like stuff for my own amusement, like turning sand into like glass sculptures, or just like being outside of the hustle of you need to eat, so you gotta make money, so you're doing a thing to make money so you can eat. That cycle, it just would it help out?
Maybe.
But yeah, don't like come to me. Don't like if you walk all the way to my house in the middle of the Sahara, you ain't lost. You did with a purpose. I need neighbors. I want some place that is like I gotta look for you to see you.
Mark gonna be recluse like Superman.
Mark gets superpowers, and he uses it to become
a super introvert.
Super introvert.
Yeah. No lies detected. It's true.
Oh god.
That is legit. I can be somewhere like just living.
You know what? You know what's the meme that comes to mind? The meme that says you need to be thinking big, bitch. You need to be thinking big. That's like the meme that comes to mind when you said that. I was like, I'm going to use my powers to be a super introvert.
Oh
Gotta
god.
have goals, right? But yeah, like find some place like I think I don't want nobody. I don't want like governments of the world talking about how this is their land or nothing like that, and want to start stress because government do that. I be like nobody living in Sahara like
So
this sign here is mine.
you're
This
essentially
man is mine.
oh there, Gabby. So like you would legit just become Dr. Manhattan then.
Probably not that extreme. I mean, I like chocolate, and I guess if I got like Superman powers, I could figure out how to grow chocolate, but that's not work though. I could just go and buy chocolate, like go and crush out some, go and burn a tree, get some coal, crush it up, get some diamonds, go and buy chocolate.
Oh my god. Wow. I don't know. I still like my plan. Julia, you
Yeah,
serious?
Julian is serious. Julian's on
Oh,
my side.
oh my gosh. You don't have to
Yeah,
be like on Cam's level of villainy, but I feel like I had a good plan. He ain't exactly hurting the body.
We have the same plan.
you want pelt coconut tree people house? Come on.
Oh, that's the Wonder Woman
Me,
one.
me and Natalie have the same plan. With the mind con with suggested things. You
But
just
I
want
want
to you just want to convince people to do. You're like, I'm going to suggest for them to be my friends and give me favors, and I'm just like gonna tell them what to do. I'm just blunt. I'm just being blunt and rude. You doing it with a smile is the same thing. Doing it.
oh my gosh. Don't plan to do it forever. You have to have like an exit strategy. I don't want a trail coming back to me of why everywhere this little 5 foot woman go, people just handing out things.
Are you only 5 feet? You're only.
We've covered this on a previous episode,
Make it
Cam. Natalie is like
one.
5 foot flat. During the hot days of summer, when the sun started draining out, all the water, her percentages started dropping a little bit. She's no longer, 60% water, probably more like 55.
Oh
She may go down to like a 5'11", maybe. Sorry, a 4'11". I know.
Oh my god.
Natalie is fun sized.
Yes.
Ooh, Natalie.
Hmm?
Quick. Go no further. I can plug you here so real quick.
Oh no.
You got something to talk about.
What's
I
that?
tell you, we can talk about it before.
Oh no. Wait, what?
Yes. Hey, download.
What?
It's not. Haha. Good.
Oh god.
Yes, Natalie. Tremble.
Making proclamations.
Tremble.
Indeed.
Wait, hold on. I want to download it now. Good. Yes. All right, so we can take a slight detour away from Cam.
Cam help.
Take a little spot off of Cam for 2 seconds.
Thank God.
And we can shine a light on Natalie again. A bright spotlight. Here we go. No, it was there. Boo.
Boo.
Yes, there is. All right. So if you are going to be in Barbados around the end of this month, end of March, specifically March 25th, Natalie, aka NJ Art, is going to be doing her very first art exhibit. Yes, her very first art exhibit. This is going to be at Aeon Bar, which is in Sheraton Mall. If you're in Barbados, you might know it. So tell us a bit. We're gonna take a spotlight off of Cam for like 2 minutes. tell us a bit about your show. What is the show about? It's called Art of Whimsy. Why Art of Whimsy?
Because that's the type of art that I like to do, like things fantasy related, I guess you could say. Just fun and whimsical, not of this world or this world plus all the little magical things that you could imagine. So I wanted to put together like a series of my illustrations. They're all on canvas because usually I paint on paper, but finding like frames and stuff and beyond a certain size in Barbados is hard. So all canvas works, canvas illustrations, fun themes, and like cute drawings. So if you're into that kind of thing, pieces will be on sale. I'm also hoping to get prints done of them as well. I'm not sure how much time I will have before the actual show. And there's going to be games. So we'll be playing some games. You could bring your own games if you have like Cards Against Humanity and stuff because I want it to be fun and not like a stuffy wine drinking. Oh yes, this piece reminds me of blah blah blah. So come out and have fun.
All right. So come on, have fun. I know that since we started doing these live streams, you've picked up a couple of fans,
Oh
at
yeah.
least. So come on, people. Again, that's March 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Is that that's a Saturday?
Yeah, from 4 p.m.
Oh, that's 2 Saturdays from now.
Yep.
That means we're not going to have a show 2 Saturdays from now.
Unless you do it there.
And then Cam, the voice from the darkness, the wisdom. We could probably live from your show from there, maybe.
Oh my
That'd be
god.
fun. Cool, that's an option. We'll look into it. We've got 2 weeks to figure it out. But yeah, so people, if you're into cool, whimsical art from a clearly talented creator, for some support behind Natalie NJ Art. So we're going to be posting this on the Alluhwi Comics IG this week. If not later today, then by tomorrow. So come on out, throw some support behind Natalie, pick up some cool original art, and see if we can't, start our own little art mafia, because that's apparently what the art world is.
Oh my.
Rich friends sharing, buying art from other rich friends. I don't know. I that's not my space. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, Natalie's got her first art exhibition, Aeon Bar, March 25th. Come through and check it out. I know the light is back on cam. Haha.
Fuck.
So how is this going, Cam?
I finished the flats. Hold on a minute. I am concentrating. So I finished the flats. Because based on what I was saying, actually no, I haven't finished the flats. I'm missing the links at the top. I have to finish put those in. But essentially, this is the part before the big reveal. So he's looking. What I think is he's looking at the monitor, checking the last bits of thing before the big reveal. So the flats are done. The swatches that I had are in place. How I envision the room to look. I use a dark color to highlight that the room is dark, and then I just use black or gray. Probably use a color in the blue because blues tend to show up good shades. So it's more purple and violet. And I add in the lights at the top a bit later because they're highlights. So what I'm going to do now is that make this a bit lighter. Over here. So I'm on the guide there now. So he's looking at a monitor. So I'm just gonna get light coming. Oops. I'm probably gonna do light coming. Let me just probably get light coming from this way onto his face. So
Mm-hmm.
probably gonna see like his clothes glow a different color,
Hmm.
and it's probably gonna hit here. So on this side of the face, you're gonna probably see a light, and then it's gonna reflect it in the glasses. But then this side is gonna be more darker and stuff. You have like different shadows and stuff like that and stuff. So we'll see.
I
And
like
then
that you
So
have
for
the little arrows pointing out your light sources and stuff. Because that's something that I do as well. Kind of help conceptualize where you can be coloring in things.
yeah, I really should have kept those.
so for people who aren't colorists, who don't have any idea of the process, you mentioned a term flats. You mentioned highlight. So explain a bit more what those are. Are they exactly what they sound like? What's the difference between them?
Okay, so like what I would consider flat colors would be if you are not necessarily painting, but let's say you have a coloring book. You color inside the lines and you finish all the inside the lines. That's the flats. It's going to look it's going to look like a flat piece of art. What happens then is that so you have different tones as well, and tones will be the same color but in different shades, and that gives you light and shadow. So people usually refer to where the light hits as the highlights, and then the shadows would be where the light doesn't hit. And the shadows, how you draw in the shadows and draw in the light, gives the piece contours and shape, and it adds. You can use the same. Um, Sorry, it just smelled like a fog machine.
Oh
Anyway,
no.
yeah, I'm gonna be sick if that's what it is.
Oh no.
So if you have this piece, because it could probably transition to something else that I would have done earlier. Um, where is it? This here, right? So this is something I did. The rest would know about this because I've been sharing this for forever.
It wasn't that long.
This is what I would call the flats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ew. So this is what I would call the flats. So it is a basic shape in terms of the lines, and then you have like the flat colors. So it's just brown and two different shades of blue. And then you start to add like the shadows where the light is hitting him, where the light is hitting him, and then you can see like where. So up in here, I don't know if you can see my cursor. You can see then that
Yep.
this is a flat piece of face, but there's a contour there, and that
Mm-hmm.
the face now isn't flat because it goes off to the side here. So this is the flat part of the face, and this is the side of the face. That's like what coloring in different and light and dark does. Um, and then you add in the highlights to show where the light source is coming from, and it adds more contours to show you the faces and how the face is built and stuff like that. Yada yada yada. Essentially,
Okay.
that's
Basically sculpting with color.
yes.
Sculpting and color. I like that.
Yeah,
That is cool.
my friend is asking me for the link for the podcast. Apparently, I didn't send it to her.
Bad friend.
Yeah, she's up.
No, you're the bad friend.
Shut up.
You didn't.
Oh Oh my gosh.
So yeah, and then it comes out of that. So there's that, and then there's this other one. So I started this one like last night, and this is still the flats. You can see the difference between this one and they look similar to this. You can see the difference between this and this. How it helps make this look more 3D-ish and stuff like that. So that's essentially what the coloring and stuff does. Okay, so let's see how I'm going to get this done.
So with comics, when you're doing the art for comics, you have different stages. For the art itself, you've got the pencils, you've got inks. Some people call inks finishing, and some inkers would add, even though they're still working with black and white, pretty much. They're going to be adding a lot of texture and shading to it. And then you have colors. So for you, Cam, and Natalie, you would have some experience with colors as well. What is your preference? Would you prefer to add just like the plain? Would you prefer to just receive just the plain line art, or do you want to have some of the inks in there as well, which add a lot of detail, usually to the pencil. Or another way to look at it, for this piece, when you were doing the art for Dr. Burgerdown, you put a lot of thought into the goggles, and so right now the cross piece between the lenses is actually black. That's not something that Cam would have added in as color. But you were asking, should you add black to the lenses or not? So, what's your preference? If you're receiving line art, what do you want to get?
As much of the detail as the line art person could add in, I think is nice, because then it kind of leaves less guesswork for you to color behind. And Cam, you could tell me if this is true or not. So
Yeah.
like, instead of doing all this line art for his hair, I just blocked in the hair is black. So that's less for you. You know, all right, the hair is black.
The hair is black.
And you don't have to go in and like guess or figure out like how much shading you need to do in it. I also kind of like the high contrast look of the older comics, as well as like they had a lot of hatch work in it. Hatching is like having the diagonal lines. So I haven't perfected that as yet. So my lines here are just very clean. It's just the lines and any solid black areas. But if I had that hatching skill, I would definitely add that to line art as well, just because I think it adds like interesting character to the look of the piece.
Okay. For me, in terms of like seeing comic book art, and I always find it interesting, the impact of comic book art for me. I think that story is important for comics, even though comics are very much a highly visual medium. So I've seen some comics that are like pretty much mindless action. You know, there's no real, there's not a strong plot or any strong like character development, that kind of stuff. But it looks amazing. You know, back in the 90s, pretty much at the height of the 90s with comics, you had a lot of comics like that, which were very light on like story and character development plot. But you know, the art looks amazing, colors were, you know, fantastic, that kind of thing. But I've always kind of liked nice, crisp line art.
Mhm.
And line art that isn't too too weighty, or the lines aren't too thick, too heavy.
Mm.
Um, there's a DC, like the last couple DC animated movies that came out. There was a Superman one. There was one with Supergirl, and it isn't like anime esque. Um, so it doesn't like look like anime style art. But what is distinctive about that is that the line weight for the characters is pretty thick, pretty heavy.
That's the
So you'll see like,
Smallverse.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was like, "Huh, this is interesting." The lines are quite thick.
We've got someone new, a new challenger has entered. Welcome, Adriel. Nice having you
Hello.
here. So yeah, this entire chat is filled with villains in the making, man. Troy is here saying, I think after I've had a really idea of how the web really works, the web, what web? I'm forming the authority. And he adds, the world could use some firm direction. All
Hmm.
right, Comrade Putin.
You see, the problem is that with that is that humans aren't infallible. So you go in with the best of intentions, and then power get to your head, and oops.
About, and all of a sudden it's just about like bad bitches and banging.
That's when my vote is for our AI overlords.
Oh
You
my
know,
gosh.
they would have like I don't know, I don't know if I'd be mad if AIs was to like really run the world through.
Oh my gosh.
Like at least buses would be on time though.
You hope so.
Man, no man. I feel like having things on time, AI would have that figured out. Yeah, buses would run on time. That'd be cool. I won't mind that. All right, so we are still here on this podcast. Cam is still going strong, starting to add some highlights to his finished art. Uh, you guys can keep hanging around. We're gonna give Cam another few minutes. I mean, it's only fair. We let Natalie go nuts last time, and she was drawing forever. So we can't really like cut out Cam and drag him off stage with a hook.
Oh my
So
gosh.
You could. You could if you wanted to.
you don't want these hook hands, Cam. So
What?
here's another question. So for those of you who are like us, who are creators, who are storytellers, how do you build your stories? What do you start with? Characters or world first? And this is a question that Natalie had posed while we were hanging out in the green room. So, what about you, Natalie? Where do you start? Do you start with characters first or your world first?
Uh, I think it could go either way for me. Um, so I don't have necessarily a set principle. Is whichever one the inspiration strikes first. If I think of like a really cool person, then I try to like create a world around them. But I
Hmm.
find I've been liking more the idea of fleshing out your world because having like a really well fleshed out world build gives like really it makes the story run nicer, you know? Like
Okay.
the plot kind of makes more sense to me because like you have the whole structure of what the conflict is or what the history is for the world that they're in, and that kind of guides the problems they're going to encounter, the ways they're going to get around said problems, as opposed to
Hmm.
you have a character and you gave them this set of abilities or you gave them this position, then you have to engineer everything around them. So I've been liking the world building one more, but it just depends.
World building can get really intricate though.
Yeah. So you kind of start from like a bird's eye view. Like you have an overall idea of, okay, there's a world where dolls are replacing people's family members or something. That was actually an anime, and it was very sad. In that there was this whole like robot industry, and there were these super lifelike androids that only had a lifespan of 9 years, and then they would basically go feral. It's called plastic
Sorry,
memory.
feral.
Yeah. So the programming would only run, and I think this was like completely orchestrated by the company
Hmm.
for whatever reason. And the bodies would be fine, but their programming would go feral and they would attack you basically. So they would have to come and collect them at the end of the 9 years and put them down and reprogram them. And it was this really like heart wrenching kind of story because say you adopted a little boy android because your actual son died in real life and you can't have any more children. Your little boy goes feral at the end of the 9 years, and then he gets taken back in, and you could have the choice to bring him back to you, but he would be a completely different personality because they have to wipe the programming. Or if you don't take him back in, you could be walking down your street somewhere and see another family with your son. It was like it was
Oh,
ugh.
whoa.
Yeah, it was dark and introspective.
Like
But yeah,
respect to anime and manga, they would take like some ridiculous concepts and then add all these layers to it.
yep,
You know, and yeah, that's kind of cool.
yeah.
Feral android.
I want to add my piece to this about what should we call it? The stories, how what you do first.
Mm,
Um, I think because oh my God, what are you doing? I think for me because I think if you start off with building a world first, you get lost in building the world sometimes and not. Um, and you spend all this time building the world and not focusing on the story or the plot.
mm,
Okay.
I think for me, because I've been doing it myself, I think for me, I think it's best to build the characters or have the story you want to tell first, and then you can put and then everything builds around that. So like from because I haven't really written the story yet. I have done I have a story concept in mind, and what I did was this is a character, and this is what he is going through. Now,
Hmm.
how I'm going to make it interesting for people reading, and then you build the world from there as necessary. And I see that a lot with like Dungeons and Dragons because they play that too, and people that run those games are essentially telling a story.
mm.
They're not gonna have. They're gonna build a world, but they're gonna. It's like it's having like F is on a paper. I feel like F is on a paper is gonna look something like this. Yeah, let me not open. No, something like this.
As the only fans for this, okay?
No, it's not. I don't have physical folders, so that's what closed source is for.
Oh my god.
So like say
Good answer.
like this is D&D, right? and then you have like he's gonna have where you start, and then this is the end goal, the big bad castle guy, right? And then everything from on the other side on this page is all the different paths they could get to the big bad evil dude. So down here is like there's a tavern fight, but now you have to make up the name of the tavern, who it is you picked to fight with, why they decided to fight you, and you have to pick that up on the fly. And then next to that is the apothecary shop. And for some reason, the player wants to know the name of the apothecary and not just random NPC number 2. Right? This is the brothel because some of your players are degenerates. I am one of those degenerates. This is this is probably like a side quest from some orphan girl that you meet in the street who I, as a character, might not care about, but someone else in my party might care about.
Oh my gosh, Cam.
So now you have to make up. I'm not saying that this is me personally. So now you have to make up this girl's name and what the problem is, and he has to go off and where you have to go to get this quest done, and then where you have to take the thing back to, and yada yada yada. So I find like once you have the world loosely built, then as you progress through it, it takes shape and is its own unique thing.
Adriel is saying, world. I start from some world building idea or conflict concept. From there, though, dot. Okay. For me, I am definitely more character oriented. And then everything kind of flows out from there. A very loose like premise is gonna kind of, it might come a little before, but then the process of defining or expanding that premise is going to be generated through the characters. So for me, I'm trying to figure out, all right, who's this character and what do they want? So that's like the protagonist. Everybody wants something. Who's going to stop them from getting it? That's usually the antagonist. The antagonist is going to want something. And I find like the world kind of gets populated and fleshed out around them. From going that route. So once I know who the protagonist is, once I know who the antagonist is, once I understand what they want, I refine the premise. And in refining premise, I got to figure out what is the world of the story. Where is it happening? Is it a story happening in the past? It's happening in the present? It's happening in the future? Is it an alternate timeline? Is there magic in this world? All those kind of questions I can ask just from trying to figure out who the character is. So that's where to start. But even with that, it's kind of easy to get lost. I usually start with like a development document, and I'm literally writing out what I'm thinking as I'm going through it. And when I look at the end of it, I've got like a 30-page document, and I'm like, you could have spent that time writing. You know, I find like writing. I've tried on 3 different occasions to like write novels, and I find it super intimidating. Scripts are a lot easier. You can tell a full story in a script if it's like a screenplay, like 90 pages, 120 pages maybe, and that story's done. But 120 pages is probably only like halfway on a novella, which is weird. A lot of writing. So yeah, that's it. All right, so we are in extra time right now in this hour-long live stream podcast. Hour-long was the initial plan when we started. Um, yeah, we're now at hour 24. So thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for being here. We haven't distracted Cam too badly. He's
Yay!
still diligently away, adding colors and highlights and so on in the background as we speak. We haven't done this yet for this episode, so here is your time, people. If you've got any comments or questions about the process of creating C.H.A.R Against Humanity, number one, you can throw those questions into the chat now. Unfortunately, if you're in your time machine and you're watching this from the future, you wouldn't be able to ask that. And I haven't seen like comments popping up in the comment. I haven't seen comments popping up from people who weren't on the live show. So um, I guess I'll keep checking. So if you got your questions about C.H.A.R, about this project, if you got questions from myself, Natalie, Cam, feel free to shoot those right there in the comments. If you just got stuff you want to say, no, this isn't therapy, so no, please don't tell us your problems.
You don't have life
Uh,
advice for the peoples?
I am not qualified to offer life advice. I am really not. I don't feel qualified, man. Um,
Get
I mean,
me.
people who do work as life coaches and are gurus, openly masters of the universe. I don't know. I am not them.
I have a good piece of actual advice.
All right, Cam's got legitimate advice, people.
It's not like bullshit or me clowning around. I think acceptance is key to acceptance is key to your happiness and to moving past all of the bullshit that you may or may not be currently going through. The way I
Yeah.
see the way I see it is that you get angry or sad or frustrated at something because it's not going how you want it to go, or because it's not a way you want it to be or perceive it should be. And I think that's what keeps most people from moving forward is that they haven't yet come to grips with the fact that something is not the way they wanted it to be. So they're stuck at that phase. Like I'm not going to give examples. I think everyone has lived enough life to know or to have an example for themselves. But
Mm.
just accept what has happened to you. You don't have to like it. You don't have to say that you deserve it or anything. But accepting it that it happened, even accepting that it is wrong or right that it happened, I guess can help. But without acceptance, you can't begin to process it and then within yourself find how you're going to respond to it. You can't respond to something that you haven't processed yet. You can react to something that you haven't processed, but you can't respond to it. So I think that is my little fun, sagely tidbit for this week.
You
All
got
right.
some stoicism philosophy here from Cam.
I guess, yeah, I kind of guess it's stoicism, isn't it? Yeah.
Troy is saying, well said, Cam. All right.
You can
So
make a
Cam is
few.
dropping sage advice, which I think is just unfair. I mean, he's already pretty one. You can't be wise with no. I mean, come on, leave something for the rest of us. But yeah, acceptance is that's some good. So if you've just joined this podcast, if you've just joined this live stream, acceptance is key to happiness. So wise words from Cam. Good stuff. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, so we're going to be putting sticking a plug into this live stream. It's these work in progress live streams weren't intended to be one of those like long multi-hour live streams that are happening. Everybody's got stuff to do, got their own lives to live. We are very happy, very grateful that you will spend some of your time here with us. So hopefully you've been enjoying the show. We promise you progress on C.H.A.R number 1, idle conversations, and answering your questions. Again, at this point, I'm going to plug what we do. We have a membership program running on Ko-Fi. Let me add that to the stream. Swirl. What the? All right, cool. So here we are on Ko-Fi. Ko-Fi, ko-fy.com/Alluhwi Comics. That's where you can find us on Ko-Fi. This stream is to support the development of this series, starting with issue 1 of C.H.A.R Against Humanity. You guys get some cool stuff starting at 99 cents US a month. You can get some cool stuff, including the digital edition of the book as soon as it's finished. So lucky backers getting that digital edition, you wouldn't have to wait for it to be printed. Those will be coming straight off the, digital press, if it were. Coming to you live. So you guys are going to be getting C.H.A.R number 1 extra early, pretty much as soon as it's done, right in your inboxes. You also get other cool stuff, exclusive content. You're going to get first looks at the pages as they're finished, both, or rather, not both, because it's 3. Many pages are inked. Sorry, many pages are illustrated by Natalie when they're colored by Cam, and I'll throw in 1 or 2 with them lettered. I'm going to be the one doing lettering. So please, again, be kind. We've got other tiers as well, where you can get the print edition of the book when that's done, fresh off the presses, right there as a physical thing in your hand. You can smell that lovely paper. Please don't spend all your time sniffing the book. That's just strange. We also got a combo tier where you get both the digital edition and the print edition. So maybe in a couple of years when Natalie is a fancy internationally renowned artist and she's doing all sorts of international art shows, you guys can look back at this moment where you have your physical edition, and maybe if you're extra nice, she'll sign it for you. So you can get that. If you're here for the long haul, you can get a bunch of cool stuff, including both the combo where you get the digital and the print edition of the book. We're also going to be giving you things like Discord access. Yes, that's right. We've got a Discord channel, and you can pop in and chat directly with us on Discord, and that's outside of this show. So we're going to be giving you even more time with us, and you can ask us cool stuff directly about the project. Please don't slide into Cam's DMs. He's married. Don't do that. That's
You can.
Cam is saying you can slide into his DMs. I am not going to get into that. That is between Cam and whoever else. We've also got the final tier, the Forever Fan. I'm going to be giving you cool stuff. So you will get the digital edition with the standard cover. We're going to be giving you an extra special cover variant for that as well. Savings on the book, so they're going to be definitely more affordable than when you will get them in stores. So check out for that. We're going to be throwing in limited edition merch. So you're going to get like 1 shirt and 1 mug delivered on completion. You're going to get a special Forever Fan edition of the book with a variant cover. More on that later. And also all the other cool stuff from the other tiers. And the idea for this entire process, since we started back in January, developing C.H.A.R is you pay a little bit every month down until when the production of the book wraps. So we really want to make it available and affordable for people to support us as Caribbean comic book creators. So check us out on Ko-Fi. We're going to add stuff, more cool stuff there, more unique stuff. Not all kinds of cool plans for art, little bits that you can drop, digital wallpapers and that kind of wellness that the artists want to get up to. So look forward for stuff like that. Look forward for more colored stuff from Cam. And again, throw your support our way, and we'll really appreciate it. So that's the big plug for this. Other than that, that is our show. We're going to be making this finished panel, since it's just a panel, available on our IG. That's at Alluhwi Comics, ALLUHWI Comics, COMICS. That's on Instagram. You can follow us there if you aren't following us already. Check the show notes for this show for Cam and Natalie's IG as well. Let me see if my memory is not full of holes. So Natalie's IG is at njclaws.art. Is that right, Natalie?
Yes.
Haha, yes. I got it right. So you can follow Natalie on IG, njclaws.art. I think you have one that's njclaws.illustrations.
Yeah.
Ha, got that right as well. Excellent.
Good job.
I am so totally not reading from my screen. We've also got Cam Art of Jin, The Art of Jin. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, The Art of Jin, and that's Jin with two I's, JIIN. You can check him out there. In case I'm actually making a hash of this whole thing, definitely check those details in the show notes. We are 5 episodes into this process, and you can check previous episodes on our YouTube channel, YouTube/Alluhwi Comics. You can check there as well. If you've missed episodes from before, if we've referenced stuff and you have no idea what's going on, you can check it out there. And yeah, like, follow, and subscribe. I think that's what all of the cool kids are saying. But definitely check back here in. Maybe we'll do a live stream in 2 weeks from Natalie's art exhibit. That would be cool. Yeah, C.H.A.R against humanity in the wild. That could be a thing. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that is it. That is it for our show. Thank all of you so very much for being here. Thank you for your comments, for your interactions. You guys continue to be very cool. Showing your love and support for a couple of introverted comic book creators from the Caribbean. So thank you. I'm going to go find my blinky now and recover. Hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see you soon. Peace.
Bye, people.
Later, guys. Thanks for coming.